was very, very clear in your book that your father's passing really provided this huge moment of clarity for you. Around, you talk about like no longer people pleasing, no longer trying to do things that, just there to, impress other people or that kind of thing. And you just got really, really clear on your life and what's important to you. Like,
Yeah.
and I'm curious because there are so many people who go through death, go through
Hmm.
tragedies in their life, go through various things. What was it about your dad's passing in particular that really was just like woke you up in that way?
Man, that's tough. One, I think the I think it was because it was sort of, in my perspective, tragic. Like, it happened fast, and I didn't, like, the way I thought about it, or I thought it, I saw it differently, I guess, in the sense that he's going to be in the hospital, he's going to have a few more days. I'm going to have time, whatever, weeks maybe. I'm going to have time with them, say the things I want to say, all the movie element of it, right? Um, which is what we all hope for. It wasn't that. It was the quite opposite. It was like plucking a hair. It was just like, you know, and that, I guess, shock and awe of it made me realize, like everything he had been trying to teach me. Um, it, like, I don't know if you've ever felt it, but like I felt like um, it felt like a bullet went through me, man. That's how real it was. In that, the compact, like, all his wisdom, knowledge, love was like compacted in a ball of just heat, and it just hit me, and it just, uh, I guess in a lot of ways I see how he was able to go through that refugee camp, in that it was, everything had always been temporary to him, and that he wasn't clinging on life. That's why it was able, that's like why he was, we say, like, when you go that fast, right, like when you just get plucked, basically, it it's actually a reward. You're not suffering. You're not, you're kind of already surrendered to the process of the transition, going this life to the afterlife. And I feel like that's the most beautiful gift he could have earned from this life, which is what he was always wanting. And I think, for me, that was the most beautiful realization, was that now I know that.
Hmm.
I know that this is so temporary. Everything is, like, I am genuinely in control of how I can sense and feel and deploy and employ my emotions, my reactions. And knowing that, now I have to learn to master it. And that's the work, is mastering myself. And I realize that through mastering myself, that's how I'll be able to see him again. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that wake up call, just clarity that nothing is worth chasing, because
Hmm.
it doesn't matter.
Hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so people experience exactly what I felt in hundreds, if not thousands, of different ways.
Right.
Personally, for me, it was with my dad. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you for sharing. And that
Yeah.
was, yeah, appreciate that. Um, I think that the thing that comes up for me now is a word you mentioned several times in your book. I believe it's pronounced inshallah. Um, what does that word mean, and why is that word so important to you?
Yeah, it's inshallah, and it's an Arabic word that's used in so many different ways. Um, so many different ways. It's so powerful, and it's just to remind you that it's God's will, right? That what you are thinking about, what you want to do, your worries, your stress, um, if you just if you could just surrender that even for a moment, it's healthy, right? Like scientifically, if you were just to surrender your stress, whatever it is, right? Which is why people like escape to, of course, different types of drugs, alcoholism, different kinds of addictions, is to seek that level of just numbness, right? To let go, even to surrender it for a moment. But inshallah has that in a way similar effect, in that you are taking what you are struggling with and kind of trusting it in something of like a higher, uh, a better planner, if you will, a better strategist, a better mentor, right? Like a better knower of what is destined. You know what I'm saying? And it's a very cultural thing to say inshallah, but it's also a religious thing to say, because a religious in the sense that you are admitting that you believe something is higher than you, and by doing so you are then trusting that how you feel can change for the better, and this is the being that can help you go through that, right? And it's just entrusting that what is going to happen, putting your hope and your trust and your love into something more positive. And so inshallah also has a very positive connotation and optimistic perspective, in that um, you may think you know, but what you don't know is actually way more powerful, right? And so giving yourself permission to trust that unknown and be optimistic about it actually scientifically gives you room to create it, gives you room to respond to it beautifully, as opposed to react to a fearful thing that then changes the optimistic view to a negative view, which puts you in a loop, right? So by saying inshallah, we are actually inviting um, the Most High's blessings, if you will, um, inviting the Most High to create a positive path, a way forward, and promise us a destination out of this in a beautiful way. And so it has, again, it's very jam packed, but it's
Right.
very simple. It's
Yeah.
just say, inshallah, because at the end of the day, we don't know what's to come.
Mhm.
I don't know tomorrow. I don't know the next 10 minutes. I don't know. So you just got to put that into something else other than you thinking about it, because that's what causes anxiety, which is overthinking, which is, fears, which is everything I felt as an artist and still continue to feel and work through, right? These are not
Yeah.
things I'm immune to by any means,
Mhm.
but these are helpful tools that I feel like he was so great at teaching me. These are
Yeah.
helpful tools to use and deploy when you feel a certain way. And so
Awesome.